I'll save it for later. Thank you.
Well, before we get to testifiers, hopefully it's as fast as possible. I think that's what we're looking for. But I'm going to have for both House files here, we're going to have the testifiers come forward. I know there's several people on here for both bills, so we're just going to include them all here, starting with Annette Meeks. Please identify yourself for the record and the organization that you're with.
And Mr. Vice Chair, Chair, just for the committee's information, we'll go through the testifiers, and I look forward to a good discussion on that with the departments.
Mr. Chair, thank you. Good afternoon, Chair Myers, Chair Kosnick, committee members. My name is Annette Meeks. I'm presenting today a bit of a historic overview of the failed Northstar commuter rail service. I do so as the former chair of the Metropolitan Council's Transportation Committee, who was in that position when Northstar went online in November of 2009. At the time, it served, as Chair Kosnick just said, a 40.1 mile service from Minneapolis to Big Lake. Well before my service on the Met Council, the council appointed by Governor Ventura, led by Ted Mondale, along with county commissioners in Anoka and Hennepin County, began developing this plan in 1997 to develop Minnesota's, what they believe, first commuter rail line. At that time, as we just learned, the line was 81.8 miles long, running daily. They ran into a blockade, of course, when the George W. Bush administration changed the requirements for commuting rail, which required there to be a cost effectiveness, which Northstar never, ever could make. The only way they could qualify for the federal full funding grant agreement was to cut the line in half, cut out some stops, and try and make it as cheap as possible. We even had to cut off Wi-Fi from the line. That's how the line eventually became what we know today as Northstar. I've waited for 14 years, committee members, for someone to have the courage to do what Chair Kosnick is doing today. And this has to stop this wasteful rail plan that never, ever should have been operated. When it opened in November of 2009, it's worth noting that according to the Met Council, quote, ridership in the first 15 days averaged 2,207 riders per day, short of the goal, even in the first 15 days of 2,460. We were told to disregard those 2 months of riders, though, that the only months that would matter started in 2010. Since 2010, ridership was projected to be almost 900,000, yet it has fallen short every single year. Facts have often gotten in the way of transit advocates who've advocated for more, not less, rail service, including expanding it to St. Cloud. So I'm going to give you 3 very quick, alarming statistics from transit studies from comparing Northstar to rail service in other similar-sized cities that have existed along at the same time as Northstar. Amongst our peers, Northstar has consistently had the lowest ridership. Fact, prior to COVID, daily ridership was consistently between 2,200, 3,300 per day, almost the same as it was the day it opened. Fact, Northstar has never significantly increased ridership, nor will it ever. Since COVID, Northstar ridership is down to approximately 300 daily riders. Planning documents show it was supposed to be nearly 4,000 by today. Amongst peers, Northstar has the highest per passenger subsidy amongst like-sized commuter rail systems, period. Fact, in 2019, daily ridership averaged a public subsidy per rider at approximately $19 per passenger each way, $38 for a round trip. Since COVID, since 2022, according to the Met Council's numbers, the average subsidy per passenger now is up to $173 per ride. If that isn't outrageous, I don't know what is. But more importantly, amongst peers, again, Northstar has the lowest fare box recovery of any rail line in the country. The cost effectiveness of Northstar Rail has always been a problem. Rail advocates have told us it will take time to build a customer base. I'm here to tell you after 14 years, there is no base. There is no customer base for Northstar, nor will there ever be. But more importantly, it's taking money away from transit systems that could use that, including bus service, light rail service inside the metro area, and it's all going to support, out of general fund revenue, the Northstar failed rail line. The fact remains, Minnesotans have been paying dearly for 14 years for a dream of just a few county commissioners that somehow Minnesotans will take the train from Big Lake to downtown Minneapolis every day to commute to work. That ridership never materialized, nor will it ever. The reports and recommendations put forward by Chair Koznick today merit your very serious consideration. It is one of the biggest boondoggles in state history, and it is time to bring it to an end. Thank you for your time.